Do you guys see this place? Hmm. Let's talk about this. I hope that nobody ever has the misfortune of going to this place. It is not an exaggeration when you see these type of headlines. I was inside for 4 days, so I know. No, I'm not violent. No, I didn't rob, steal, or do anything like that. I actually had a traffic ticket warrant in Henry County, which I'm also going to talk about, that when I was in DeKalb driving, minding my own business, thinking I'm a law abiding citizen, I got stopped for. Unfortunately, when I got stopped, I had nothing going on in DeKalb County, but when they run your name in the system, they run your name for every everything, I guess, nationwide. And so it turns out that in Henry County, I had a traffic warrant. Now, just let me explain my situation with that. I was advised when I got stopped in Henry County to get insurance. I was made to get insurance on the side of the road. Got the insurance, have kept the insurance, not a big deal. On top of that, I guess because I know because I didn't go to Henry County Court after I was advised by the Henry County police officer that once I get my insurance, I'm good, which again, he made me get on the side of the road, that I'll be good. No such case. And since I was in DeKalb County and the warrant was in Henry, I was going to go to DeKalb and then be transferred over to Henry County. An inconvenience, but fine. Do what you need to do because I know I'm not a criminal. I know I'm going to get off and I'm not going to be, in here long. I'm just going to have to call my family. They're probably going to have to pay to bail me out because I'm probably going to have to pay court fines. All that was true. That part was true. I was accurate about that. But what I did not know that I was going to be stuck in jail for 4 days waiting for a officer to come at the very last moment that he possibly could, which is up to 72 hours, to take me back over to Henry County, which was horrible. The food here at DeKalb County Jail is terrible. And I can understand completely why he's saying that they're trying to starve them in there because they don't use salt, pepper, butter, any other kind of condiment that will make the food at least be edible. They ask you what your food preferences are only to ignore that and give you things like meat, and I do not eat meat. They give you pork. So if you're a Muslim or other religion or whatever that doesn't eat pork by choice, which is myself, you're just out of luck. Now this is gonna be my first video, but I'm gonna add more to this. So I'm gonna make this it's probably gonna be about 10 parts of this series. So stay tuned for more. So here's part two. On top of them ignoring your dietary needs completely and feeding you bland, tasteless food that is really just above edible, they place people who have mental issues in other places besides the mental um, floor or area. There was one young lady that was in her cell probably all the time because she was mentally ill. She would yell and scream in the middle of the night. She sleeps all day, and then she floods her cell. So not only is it unsanitary for other people when she floods the cell, it makes water flood, and people that are upstairs have to walk through that when they're going upstairs. Instead of placing her somewhere where she can get some help for her issues, they are placing her with the rest of us. So in the middle of the night, she's awake and banging on the door and disturbing all of us. And then people are telling her to shut up and going through all these different changes with her because they don't like her, rightfully so. And it's disturbing everybody when they're reacting to this because they're trying to sleep and they can't. They say when they let her out that she fights people randomly. They have had to jump her before because of her behavior. And that's not good because everybody's safety is at risk at that point. The people who are reacting and her, because they could have beat her to death. Who knows? Nobody deserves to be beaten to death because they have mental health issues that are obvious and nobody is checking them and just throwing them in a place with the rest of us who don't have the mental issues and expecting us to be able to not go into fight mode. I saw her. She came out. She was sitting at the table watching TV. I walked out. I sat at my table. I didn't realize it was her. She looked at me. I looked at her. We kept it moving. Not to say that, I was somebody she was scared of because she's obviously fought all types of people before. She just was having a moment where she was calm and serene. And I didn't say anything to her. She didn't say anything to me. I didn't judge her or anything like that. But I looked up and I realized, oh, her room is open, so she must be out here somewhere. And then I realized who she was. Um, as soon as she went in her room, they pushed the door closed and locked her in there. And she came to the door like, "Why did you lock me in here?" And the lady explained to her, you cause problems or whatever, and she's volatile. And so she continued to flood her cell and be mentally unstable in the cell and be ignored and acting like she didn't exist. That's part two of the things wrong at DeKalb County Jail. So part three here, it's not an exaggeration that they're starving in there because they are. I mean, they just have like no care for how people eat. I haven't even gotten on the scale to see if I lost weight, but I'm pretty sure that I did because even for me, who has had gastric surgery, who does not eat a lot, the food was deplorable. And people need basic things like food and water to survive. They would give us one cooler all day long with ice, and when the ice would melt, we would have something that would be decent to drink because I wouldn't trust the tap water in that place for the life of me. We took showers in there, so we don't really have a choice. We use the soap and we're like, let's pray these soaps get the germs from this dirty water off of us. Um, but we did what we had to do because we didn't want to be dirty. It sucks being dirty in a jail because you smell everybody. So we did get a chance to take a shower. Um, Let me just note that you need to wash your underwear by hand because they only give you two pairs in 7 days. They give you two uniforms in 7 days. I did not know what day the laundry was, so I missed it. So I was in a dirty uniform for 2 days when I would have had to wait for somebody to come around on Saturday to bring out the bag to get my stuff laundered. So I was taking showers and having to put back on the same stinky uniform. Well, it didn't stink as I took showers, but it was dirty because unfortunately it was too long, so it would scrub the ground sometimes. I fell once because I didn't realize that there was a crack in the floor of my cell, so I ended up on the floor dirtying up my uniform further. I bet my ass knew to watch for that crack after that, but yeah, I did take a spill. And you guys know that I have the issues with my left side where there is numbness, and I can't do as much with my left side. So sometimes my balance is not good. So you think they will make sure that the floor is good so that somebody doesn't crack their damn skull. Not no such case. It was pretty bad. And I fell and I'm got bruises all over my place, on my legs. Add to that, they do not give you a pillow. So you don't have a pillow to lay on. And the mattresses are not the mattresses that have the inflatable type of pillows with them. So you have to use your laundry bag, which already contains your dirty laundry, to have a pillow. That in itself is inhumane because you're hurting someone's neck, you're hurting someone's back, you're causing them all type of issues, and they're having to make do with things that are not make doable with. More to come. Now, part four, let's talk about transporting to other counties. I sat in DeKalb County, which I had no offenses in because the officer didn't have a reason to give me any offenses. So he was like, I'm not going to ticket you or anything like that because you really didn't do anything, but you do have the warrant. It took, they have a 72-hour limitation. Don't believe these people when they threaten you and say, like this lady was like, oh, you could be in here for 6 months. No, the fuck I can't. You know how big of a lawsuit you would have from me if you tried to keep me in there for 6 months. 6 months, y'all. On a traffic warrant? Baby, I would own DeKalb County and the other county. There's no way you should ever threaten someone that they'll be in someplace for 6 months like DeKalb County Jail for a traffic violation. that needs to be transferred to another county. They wait until the absolute last moment to bring you over there. I should not have been in DeKalb County Jail for 3 days in those horrible conditions because you needed to transfer me to Henry County Jail, which is another story in itself. At least the food was edible. At least their beds have pillows on them. Not real pillows, but the pillows attached to the little ply mattress. Horrible little mattress. And in Henry County, they put seasoning in their food and they actually give you edible food, even though they too ignore your dietary needs. Let's not get started with that. I got meat probably all the days I was there, which was 2. And I didn't eat it, of course, because I don't eat meat. And at least the mashed potatoes had seasoning. They believe in seasoning in Henry County. Had seasoning on the mashed potatoes, and the bread was not stale because DeKalb County gives you stale bread. The cookies were not stale, even though I hate those type of cookies. They weren't stale. The ones that DeKalb gives you are crumbling visibly, and they are, you can tell when they hit your mouth that they are stale. So they're not really edible. I literally could see how someone could say they're starving to death in there because why would you want to eat that? No person under the sun that's got any kind of sense is going to want to eat that. The people in there are actually getting stuff from commissary to add to their food to make their food halfway decent because it's deplorable. And yeah, we see that on TV all the time when they show the little jail stories. It's true because the food in jail is deplorable. And I guess it's meant for you to not come back, which is fine, but you need to find another way, maybe a mental health way to keep people from coming back there, not starving them to death because that's just further making the situation worse. Part 4 or 5 now coming. Here is part 5. And I don't know if I'll do another one because right now I'm really trying to put this hard memory out of my head, but it really needs to be discussed and talked about. And I'm really going to do more letter writing than anything because I'm tired of this type of shit. When they told me I should go into law a long time ago, I didn't listen, but I'm listening now. When I tell you God will drop a gem on you and drop things in your lap if you really listen, you'll see it. It's ever since I got my first nugget that I should go into law, I've been getting them ever since, nonstop. And I guess God was like, okay, well, let me put you in the middle of a situation so you can see you need to go into law for real. I can see how people would say that they are being ignored and mistreated in these jail systems and these penal systems because why would you ever have somebody who has been in there for 3 days with somebody who has a mental condition and they can observe this and know this and not realize that that person is a very intelligent writer and is about to try to blow the top off of you guys because people may have before, but they're not going to listen to inmates. I'm out and I don't have a violent crime. I don't have a long-term sentence. And I'm about to blow the top off this if I can. And I'm going to do everything that I can to get these people treated better. Just because you are in jail doesn't mean that you should be treated like an animal. I mean, the whole idea is a correctional facility. So what the hell happened to the correctional part? I guess because it's DeKalb County Jail and not DeKalb County Correctional Center, they don't care about the correction part. They just focus on the jailed part. So I guess I should be crystal clear about that part. It says jail, not correctional facility. And you guys, this blue thing is my house dress. So if you see me in it, it's because I'm at home and, it's my house dress. And sometimes things come into my head. Okay, you guys get the picture. But yeah, DeKalb County Jail is exactly what they say. It's jail. It's not meant to be a place of correction, and it's not a nice place to be, and it's a despicable, deplorable, dirty place to be. It's filthy. The living conditions there are awful, and the way that they treat people and ignore people's mental issues and ignore people's dietary issues. I can see people saying that they will be dying in DeKalb County Jail. I believe it. They don't care about anybody there at all. And it's despicable. They have to do better. People are humans, not animals. I had to do a part 6 because there were some things I forgot. So here we go. Obviously, there is some type of fulfillment or quota they have to meet as far as how long you're in there. I say this because it got to the point where it started being so crowded with processing people because the weekend was beginning that they were like calling officers in who worked other shifts to try to help. I sat in one spot for 14 hours and I literally watched this man say, "Oh, we're coming, we're processing you guys." I literally watched this man photocopy a handbook, which was probably for distribution to other coworkers. He's probably advised to do that. At hours after he had told me that he was going to come and take me to the back. Everybody knows after 14 hours, somebody is fucking sleepy, tired, and already hadn't been getting much rest because it's jail. Like, it's no party, it's no picnic. You're not going to get rest like I'm at home in bed right now. So I sat in one spot for 14 hours. No, I got it. I could shower if I wanted, and but what was the point of me showering when I would have to change out my clothes anyway? Which I hadn't gotten any clothes, so what was I going to shower and change into? The same clothes I had on from the street, which would make no sense because they were obviously dirty with me being transported all over the damn place. So I had to wait for 14 hours in one spot, which I feel like is intentional. It's something that they do in these jails because they want to have a certain quota that they want to meet and have a certain amount of people that are in there that they can account for. To say that they're needed and they're doing their job and the need for that county jail is necessary. Because we know jails are big businesses, and if they're not reducing, they're going to close them. Jails and prisons, big business, make multi-millions. And I know that they have to make multi-millions because I counted and calculated in my head the things that you have to pay for while you're in there, like not phone calls, but or you do too because your family has to pay for it. Commissary of ridiculously overpriced, under quality food. Like, how much did you pay for that box of? I wouldn't even say Lucky Charms because you don't get it. How much did you pay for that flavored Kool-Aid? Something that you could probably get at the Dollar Tree for way cheaper. But it is definitely a waste of time to be in there, and they will waste your time for hours on end just to meet their monthly quotas.